Yo pagar por todo, tú no necesitas hacer las cosas. Tú estás mi esposa.
Danielle's a 42-year-old retired teacher from New York City, and her husband Yohan is a 32-year-old man from Dominican Republic. In the last episode we saw of 90 Day the Other Way, Danielle painted herself out to be a business expert. Now, despite that, she actually filed for bankruptcy and owes over $200,000. Which, brain blast! You guys ever watch Jimmy Neutron? This would explain why Danielle is so insistent that her and Yohan live in Dominican Republic and not in the United States. Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. Just because you're running from your debt in the United States, Danielle, it doesn't give you the justification to emasculate your husband and all of a sudden flip the switch on him, right? Because you entered this relationship fully aware of his financial situation. The reason why the audience doesn't like Danielle is because she's incredibly manipulative. She paints herself out as a spiritual person, but she doesn't act like a spiritual person. She entered this relationship with Yohan purely based on his physical appearance. And the fact that he's hung like a horse. She has bragged many times to her friends about his size. Before being casted for the present season of 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way, they were on the show Love in Paradise. And on Love in Paradise, Danielle paid for everything. She was quite literally this man's sugar mama. So for her to all of a sudden flip the switch is ridiculous. You expect this man that's already struggling in business because it's the first time that he started his own company, he started up a butcher shop. We saw in the last episode how she was very critical about his accounting and how he was running this butcher shop.
I have a question. I'm asking where this my idea is, where is the money coming from?
Ironically enough, it turns out a member of our proud Yourwetsock community was a former student of Danielle's. Let's see what they have to say about her. Kiki says, as someone who had Danielle as a high school teacher back in 2014, I can confirm that this is not an act whatsoever. She is really this horrible in person and was extremely problematic in school. TLC doesn't even need to try to make her look bad. This is her real personality. Katie Hack responded, that must have sucked. I'm thinking Danielle didn't do much to build the confidence of the student she taught. She's so condescending. Kiki responded, believe me when I tell you I have horror stories about this woman. The way she speaks to Yohan is exactly how she spoke to students. God forbid you didn't understand something. She literally asked if you were done. A couple other Wetsocks were asking Kiki to spill the tea and she did. Y'all want the story where she got into a relationship with the student's uncle and boasted about it to 17-year-olds, or the one where it seemed like she was having an inappropriate relationship with a student? Oh, shit! Honestly, Danielle seems like the type to enter a relationship with a student. We don't know if this is confirmed or not, but that's funny that she entered a relationship with a student's uncle and then bragged about it. That's so wildly inappropriate. When I was in school, I feel like I got the short end of the stick because I've never had any attractive teachers. But I was busy playing football in Skyrim anyway, so it's chill. Kiki goes on to say, Miss123 responded shocked emoji. I'm so sorry you were exposed to this behavior from a teacher. This is really unacceptable. Were school administrators informed of her behavior? Kiki responded eventually yes, although from what I hear, she got fired the year after I graduated for, I think, hanging out with a student outside of school. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. Oh, and then there was the time she got into a public IG argument with a former student after the girl called her out and she made some derogatory remarks. Not to be messy or anything, but if any former students have those derogatory remarks screenshotted, hit me up on IG. She also admitted to the audience that her side hustle is being a holistic wellness coach, which is basically a life coach. You're supposed to coach clients up on nutrition patterns, relationships, physical fitness, spirituality, and more. This girl working this job is so troll because she's literally iron 5 at life. But don't take my word for it. Check out what she says to her husband, Yohan.
Bueno, el precio serían $2,000 mensual. Voy a darle 5 minuticos para hablar a ustedes. Okay.
Sí.
Ah, sí. ¿Cómo te pareció el apartamento?
Es linda, pero ¿puede ayudarme con alquilar?
Shame, shame, shame. You got a lot of nerve to ask this man that, Danielle, especially because you came into this relationship grabbing the check for everything. This girl showed up to Dominican Republic on vacation from New York City, bragged to him about paying $4,000 in rent back home in New York City, wined and dined him. Of course he's gonna think you have money. What kind of precedent did you set for yourself when you entered this relationship? You treated this man like a sugar baby. Right away, y'all come from completely different socioeconomic backgrounds. This man is from one of the poorest parts of Dominican Republic. His family is still struggling to make ends meet. They all live together in the same house. You made him believe that you were gonna bring him over to the United States, which is one of the main reasons why he married you. It's not out of, oh, I'm gonna use this woman to get to America. We don't know what his true intentions are. And for a lot of people saying things like, oh, it's very possible that he's cheating on her, that's not confirmed. What is confirmed is that this woman breaks her promises that she's made to her husband. She promised to bring him over to America. America. She showed up to Dominican Republic and she told him, actually, I think we should stay in Dominican Republic. She is hiding the fact that she is $200,000 plus in debt. That is so manipulative, to be in debt and to hide that from the person that you walked down the aisle with and swore before friends and God that you are going to spend the rest of your life with someone. They are entitled to know about your debts. When Danielle first met Yohan, he was working as a personal trainer at the hotel she was staying at in Dominican Republic. Before this woman even entered this man's life, a lot of the money he was making at the hotel he was giving to his family because he loves his family and he has great family values. Yohan doesn't have any children. Danielle has a son in his 20s, but they don't have a good relationship, obviously, because he refuses to be on the show. In the last episode we made covering this couple, we spoke about the fact that Yohan asked Danielle if it was a good idea to open up his own butcher shop. And in Emperor Palpatine fashion, she said, do it. Danielle, the self-proclaimed good witch, gave Yohan the green light to open up his own butcher shop. However, when she showed up to Dominican Republic, she had this kind of reaction.
Afuera.
Sí,
¿Por qué
para
no?
que la gente vea la carne.
Hay moscas.
Danielle informed Yohan that his butcher shop in Dominican Republic is not up to the standards that she's used to, and then once she did his accounting, she made him feel like an incompetent fool.
De un negocio no está bien.
¿Qué tú opinas? ¿Qué tú sugieres?
I have a question. I'm
No,
asking
no,
where
¿cuál es
this
tu idea? Dime, ¿qué se puede hacer?
my idea is where is the money coming from?
This self-proclaimed spiritual healer can't even communicate to her husband in a healthy way. And she also said to the audience that he was running this butcher shop like she would run a lemonade stand, which is idiotic to say given the fact that you are over $200,000 in debt. So if we're gonna go on past failures, one could argue that you have failed harder than Yohan has. Welcome to Sunday service, Matthew 7:3. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but fail to notice the log that is in your own eye? Yo, having a debt like this is a huge financial burden in a relationship. You should actually take personal responsibility and clear your debts before you enter a relationship, especially because you're lying to this man and withholding information about what you owe. That in itself tells us everything that we need to know about Danielle. She's a very selfish person.
Te dije, yo no lo puedo pagar. En lo que yo pueda te ayudo, tú sabes.
Honest to God, Danielle just seems like an op that is having a midlife crisis and wants to live her paradise dream in Dominican Republic. She literally has a tattoo of a seagull and a sunset on her shoulder. She constantly mentions the beach and that she wants to go to the beach every day. Yo, you are literally fleeing the United States to live in Dominican Republic. You can't even apply for this man's visa.
I mean, if I don't apply for a visa, he can't go anywhere. So, like, I could just hold on to his marriage certificate and never apply for a visa.
Which is another thing she's lied to Yohan about because she communicated to him that she did start his visa paperwork when she in fact didn't. What irks me the most about her lack of consideration for her partner is that it was so premeditated. If you were aware of your personal debt, why would you advise your partner to quit his job and open up a butcher shop or open up a butcher shop on top of having his job at the hotel? Why would you advise that when you know about startup costs? If you're the business guru that you claim to be, which you're not obviously because you're a terrible businesswoman, it's foolish to want to destabilize your partner's life and then constantly ask him to give you money. It's also beyond idiotic to not advise your partner to do something with fitness when he's 6'7" and ripped out of his mind. This self-proclaimed spiritual person is fully aware that her husband is struggling because of the financial pressure that she's placed on him. Yet, she still asks him for money to pay half the rent with her. Why would he split the rent with you for an apartment in Dominican Republic, a luxury apartment at that is around $2,000, when he has his family live there and he could stay with his family and save his coin? You should want to make this man's life better, not worse. Why wouldn't he stay at his family's house and then drive to see you? It's not his responsibility to live with you and pay off your debts. It's your responsibility. This girl really convinced Yohan to move in with her and then hit him with the bill. Danielle's made Yohan so many promises that she's already gone back on. Every episode I watch on the show, it just seems like he's compromising with her and she's never compromised with him before. This man has dreamed since he was a little boy to move to America and make a good life for himself and make more money for himself and his family. So this woman just dangled that carrot in front of his head, pulled it back when she got to Dominican Republic by telling him that actually I want to live here. It's better for me that we live here. So it's better for you. It's not better for him. He makes that compromise and says, you know what? That's okay. We can stay here for longer and we can talk about it later. So he hasn't given up, but he's willing to make that compromise for this relationship because he loves you. In the last episode, you had a talk about the finances with him and you could see from his face that he was really stressed out and he's constantly trying to do a good job financially. Even though he doesn't have a lot of business know-how, he's trying to impress you. Like he's trying to buckle down and support him and his family and you and balance everything. And I can see, the entire audience can see that this man is stressed out about finances. You obviously see it too, but you choose to embarrass him on national TV. Does tearing him down make you feel better about yourself, Danielle? You know what we should do? Since Danielle was a history professor for 19 years, we should test out her know-how. Let's ask her a history question together on Cameo right now. Group activity time. It's $44. Just think about it like I'm taking y'all out to the movies or something. This is the history question we're gonna ask Danielle. During the Cold War, there was a widespread belief developed that the United States was losing the war of ideas to the Soviet Union's supposedly superior propaganda. How did the United States respond, and what kind of visual stories did they tell? I chose this question because I found the propaganda war between the Soviet Union and the United States during the Cold War fascinating. The posters are so funny. Hopefully she gives a very detailed answer because this is easily an essay question. Despite the way Danielle acts in a relationship setting, she claims to be part of the Ifa tradition and very spiritual. She will constantly wave incense on Yohan to clear his bad vibes, but what she doesn't realize is that she's actually the bad vibes. She's communicated multiple times to the audience that Yohan's family's house is not up to her standards. They don't have an air conditioning, and it's a lot of people in the house, so she doesn't want to live there. So she is looking at a way nicer, more modern part of Dominican Republic. The rent is $2,000 a month. She already communicated, as I said earlier, to Yohan that she was paying $4,000 a month in New York City. So knowing that, I'm sure that Yohan was caught off guard that she would even ask him to split the rent with her. How would he know that she doesn't have that money? If anything, he would be more offended because it's like, if you're paying half of what you paid in New York City, why are you asking for $1,000 from me? Danielle's one of those try-hard pick-me girls, and you can tell because she doesn't actually digest the information that she preaches and reads. The universe doesn't give you what you want, the universe gives you what you are. How do you expect to attract someone that is honest and loyal and good when you don't embody those same characteristics? There's this Carl Jung quote I really like, and it says, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." I agree completely. Danielle constantly talks about manifestation and manifesting money for herself. All she's managed to do is manifest debt for herself because she doesn't actually go about things in a smart way. This woman doesn't understand the power of making a promise and keeping your word. Here's the thing with manifestation, because I'm actually a believer that we create our own reality. There's no point in setting an intention for yourself without backing up that intention with fanatical effort. There's a huge difference between saying, I'm gonna manifest that I make money and it comes naturally, versus actually building a roadmap in your head for how to get from point A to point B and doing the things every day to ensure that you get there. In gamer terms, the money flows naturally when you level up skills and masteries. Think about it. If you are a warrior and you're climbing the ranks and you're working for a guild, you're gonna get more rewards as you level up because you're gonna be able to hunt higher level monsters. When you're a fraudulent person, people are gonna pick up on it. People are gonna read your energy. Authenticity and honesty are some of the most beautiful qualities a person can have in this day and age because a lot of people wear a face. One day I hope Danielle figures it out and is able to actually step out of her ego and do what's right by her partner. Until she does that, I don't blame Yohan for anything, honestly. She's also really superficial and she doesn't know the difference between possession and love. She wants to possess Yohan because she's very physically attracted to him. That is why she's in a relationship with him. She doesn't love him in the sense of you could take the physical form out of it and just be souls together. Not to mention this conversation about whether y'all are splitting rent or not should have happened way before you even showed up in Dominican Republic. For an audience member, it just seems like this girl's testing the fuck out of this dude to get a reaction on camera. When Danielle asks Yohan if he can help her out with the rent, you can see he's genuinely taken aback by her question. You can see the embarrassment on this man's face, and when he communicates to her that he doesn't have that kind of money right now, she responds, well, what can you do for me? Right now, once again, this treacherous woman is pushing Yohan to compromise with her. So he responds that he can give her 5,000 pesos of his salary. She's like, 5,000 pesos? That's like $90 US. This girl's operating on such a low frequency. She took this man to a luxury apartment complex knowing that he can't afford it in order to embarrass him on national TV. Relationships should strive to be an equal give and take, but she just takes. When this girl first showed up to Dominican Republic, she brought a lot of fruit and sacrificed it to the river god in order to bring her abundance in her relationship, when realistically she should have just gave it to someone less fortunate than her in Dominican Republic and kept the promises that she made to her partner in a relationship. She is making it so much more complicated than it has to be, but I see a pattern here. I think she does that in everything she does, and she is someone that should never be teaching the youth anything because she's an incompetent person. Yohan communicates to Danielle that unfortunately this is the best he can do right now, and instead of recognizing what the audience recognizes is that this guy is trying his best, I'm not even kidding. She calls him crazy and tells him that he eats 5,000 pesos for breakfast every day. You already knew his financial situation before you entered this relationship, and you attracted him by throwing money at him. When you buy something for someone and then hold it over their head and make them feel like they should kiss the ground you walk on because you purchased their meal for them, you're cringe. It's the same people that buy gifts and then when they don't get the reaction they want, they're like, give me the gift back. You know what I mean?
¿Tú cocinas? ¿Tú limpias toda la casa cada día? Yo necesito tú hacer cosas en la casa.
What? Why the fuck would he need to compromise by cooking and cleaning in the apartment when he can just live with his parents? Like I said earlier, this conversation should have happened before you moved to Dominican Republic and took him out of his family's house to live with you.
Pero tú no piensas, yo vengo de trabajar, tú en la casa, entonces para yo ponerme a hacer cosas.
Pero yo trabajo en la casa.
You should be nicer to this man and treat him with more respect in this relationship because I could see him getting swooped up like that. Let me know what y'all think about the situation in the comments below. I feel like Danielle is going through a midlife crisis and she's dragging this man along with her into debt city, and it's so messed up because that is not his responsibility and he deserves someone that is at least honest with him. If you want some one-on-one time with me, please order Cameo. I'm the #1 Cameo creator in the entire world. I have a higher rating than little Edward. He's been doing this for longer. Haha. Super thankful for y'all watching my videos. Comment below, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.